Hello viewers, a very warm welcome back to Duflux. In this video I am going to present my brief analysis of GATE 2026 EC Electronics and Communication Engineering based on the prima facie view, like the questions that have been received and all. Okay, so let's start. Basically, as per the reviews obtained and as per the questions, the paper this year of Electronics and Communication EC GATE 2026 EC was, in my opinion, around moderate for the moderate to tough, you can say, overall, because the core subjects were, I think, moderate to tough, and common subjects were easy to moderate. So overall, moderate to tough, like that. A little bit more towards moderate and less towards tough. Bit easier than electrical engineering, doubly. So in my opinion, it will go a bit more high scoring as compared to electrical engineering E. So let's start with the detailed analysis, though in brief, of the different subjects, subject wise questions that came. Let's start with general aptitude. So general aptitude had 10 questions as usual, which were, I think, of somewhere of quite good level, somewhere basic, somewhere a bit lengthy. You have to solve it to obtain the final answer. You deduce some like conclusion and all based on the statements and all. One question was from like perimeter of square, that was easy. Then basic vocabulary, opposite of nocturnal. Then one question, students, number of students it was given, and one statement was given that difference in scores is at most 10 marks, so that statement is false. Then what must be true? Then some options were given like that. Some fill in the blanks of using the first letters of the words based on the vocabulary. That is also based on vocabulary. Then one question was from logarithm, base changing, or powers, how to deal with the powers if they are applied in the bases of logarithm, that thing. Then questions were from some puzzle or like that kind of question, like some statements were given and game rules were given, and you have to find the correct match of, the correct statement, identify the correct statement based on the teams and all information given. However, other than that, there are questions asked from one question was from ratio of surface area of land to water or something like that. Some big like contour was given, land area like that was given, and you have to find the this thing, like the ratio of land to water, surface area of land to water. And then there are some statement based questions, other statement based questions also, like highest scored marks and students scoring marks in some range. That was also okay. Like you have to read the question carefully, अच्छे से पढ़ना था तभी आप सही से आंसर कर पाएंगे. Some questions were from special aptitude, like reflection thing and all. Yeah, and then questions were also asked from this this completing the figure thing that has become very common these days, been asked in almost all the slots of GATE. So basically aptitude, I think, in my opinion, was a bit on the lengthier side, though not that tough, also easy to moderate, but a bit lengthy. Those who are not in practice may find it tough to deal with the questions and answer them correctly in the limited amount of time and in the exam pressure. Okay, so that's all for the aptitude. Let's move on to the next subject, which is, let's take engineering maths. So engineering maths, as usual, had 13 questions, 13 marks combined. Questions were from different portions, different topics like series, infinite series, convergence, two SA, SB, two series were given, and you had to have, like, answer which of them converges and does not converge, infinite series. Then questions were from basic determinant of the square matrix and all. And then a good question was asked from this surface integral, like area under the curve over R. You have to integrate surface integral. There is double integral over xy plane, x square plus y square minus 1 dx dy. That was a good question. Other than that, basic questions were asked from like surface is given, unit normal vector you have to find. Then like that only. Yeah. Other questions were also there from I think other questions were asked, yeah, from these things like mathematics had mostly these questions. Other than that, there are some other questions also based on random variable. Random will comes under to communication, I think, for EC people. So basically, let's see, mostly these, more or less. Yeah, right. So yeah, it was easy to moderate in my opinion, because straightforward questions were only asked, not like electrical engineering. The good questions were asked from vector spaces and linear algebra. In EC there was little basic questions asked. As far as mathematics, engineering mathematics was concerned. Coming on to the next subject, let's say electric circuits, networks. Networks, I think, good questions. Easy questions were asked from basic current voltage equation of capacitor. Then yeah, then basic resonant circuits like parallel circuits, power distributed parallel circuits. One very good question was asked from like which balanced the all 1 ohm resistances, 1 kilo ohm resistance, and in between there was 6 volt battery. So to find the voltage across the 1 ohm resistances, 1 kilo ohm resistance, and there was a current source of 1 milliampere supplying. That was a good question. Other questions were from two-port network. Z parameters were given to convert them into ABCD or T parameters. So yeah, on the easier side, I would say, nothing to think much or answer or calculate too much in as far as network theory or this circuits are concerned. Next, moving on to the core subjects of. Let me move on to the the other common subjects. Let's discuss. So basically control systems. Let's take कंट्रोल सिस्टम्स में आया था आपका बेसिक ही आया था, रूट लोकस से बेसिक के और अल्फ़ा का वैल्यू कुछ फाइंड करना था कंपेंसेटर के इक्वेशन में, ट्रांसफर फंक्शन में. के एस वाज गिवन, के एस ऑफ जी एस वाज गिवन, सिस्टम ट्रांसफर फंक्शन वाज गिवन. So basically that question was there. One question was from like finding the transfer function from the state space representation. That is very easy. C into SI minus A inverse B. That thing was to be applied. Then one was very easy, marginally stable condition. You have to find the value of K, internal product equal to external product, or by writing the Raoult array and then solving any approach. Block diagram algebra, one question was there. 1 by S plus 4, that question was there. Another thing was there from system matrix. You have to find W dot T, WT equations and all were given like that. Other than that, yeah, control systems mostly at these questions only. Next, moving to the next subject, which is signals and systems. Signal systems had good questions, basically based on some sampling based questions. One question from Fourier series, that again there is a half wave symmetry, then there are no second order harmonics based on that property. One question was from energy of the signal. Two questions in fact were there. Total energy is within the bandwidth B, then you have to find the value of B. Then one signal was given to find the energy of that and the actual signal given xt by the some scaling x of 3t of plus 5 or something like that, 3t minus, I don't exactly remember, 3t like that. No, scaling amplitude as well as time scaling was applied. You have to find the ratio of the energies based on the basic property of energy, finding energy. You could have solved that. And basic stability and of a discrete time function based on the difference equation, that thing was there. Laplace transform basic, yeah. So basically these were the questions. And also the LTI system, our LTI, how to determine if the discrete time, combined discrete time system is an overall LTI system or not, that based on that concept, like it was asked in last year, I think. Easy similar kind of question was asked this year, but this year the block diagram was such that the system would turn out to be LTI, the combined system, overall system, the whole system, right? Next, moving on to the next subject, which is, I think, in my opinion, let's take analog. In electronics we can take. In electronics was basic on the easier side for EC people, because it is the core subject. Questions came from basic op-amp circuits. Many questions, 3 questions in fact came. One came with op-amp with BJT, that thing was there, and another came with simply op-amp, like switching is done, what is the output voltage before and after in terms of X. One question was asked from the current which is entering the op-amp, Ix, its value was asked. I think it was asked to fill, like that. Another was from clipper clamper, clipper circuits basically. Diodes was there. Maximum voltage V0, maximum value of V0 had to be found. Input voltage was given as 6 omega sin omega t, like that. It was also quite easy and basic. And so many questions came from op-amp, 3 questions, then 1 question from clipper circuits using diodes, ideal diodes. Other questions came from normal biasing, DC biasing of MOSFET, and then AC analysis, small signal analysis of BJT, common emitter amplifier. So you have to find the equation for V0. You have to do small signal analysis, find the small signal gain, and multiply with the given input voltage. Basic thing. And another question was, in fact, another question was asked from op-amp to find the voltage gain magnitude V0 by Vi. Basically 4 questions I think from op-amp, one from clipper circuits, clipper diode circuits, another from MOSFET, another from BJT AC analysis, small signal analysis. So 7-8 questions came like that from analog electronics, because it is the core subject for EC. Next, coming to digital electronics, also had good questions based on K-map. The SOP expression was given, sum of products. You have to find the different Boolean algebra expressions that are possible. So it was an MSQ question, multiple correct. Then you have to find the from number systems 10's complement of the number 47. Yeah, 47 was asked. Another question came from this flip-flop sequential circuits, which was asked to find the frequency at the output, given that JK equal to 1, that is the toggle condition. Clock frequency was given as 10, so it would come out to basically divide by 2, 5. Next, the shift counter was given, left shift counter or something, and another XOR gate was given. So you have to find the state of the counter after register. So register was given. You have to find the state of the register. Left shift register was given. So you have to find the state of the register after maybe I think 5 clock cycles or clock pulses. Questions were also asked from this Marx multiplexer. So basically that was the thing. Number of flip-flops required to design a binary label counter to count up to 64, starting from 0. You have to take into account that it is greater than 2 to the power 6 states. So you have to 7 flip-flop. That was a bit tricky question. Options were confusing. 4, 5, 6, 7 it was given. And one question came from memory, based on the last memory location you have to find. In the first memory location, about 256 KB memory was given. So basically that was the thing. Another question was from basic CMOS circuits, or like you have to find the output, which identify the gate. Basically, it represents logic gate. It represents. That was all from I think digital electronics. Many questions came again. I think 6-7 questions came. 6-7 or 7-8 questions came. 7 to 8 questions came from digital electronics also. It has good weightage. It also had good weightage because it is another core subject of electronics, EC people, right? Next, coming on to the next subject, I think let's take communication. Communication was also a good level. Communication had questions from this basic digital analog communication was asked less this time. So for non-core people who are appearing from other branches, it would have seemed a bit tough to deal with. Uh, yeah, digital communication questions were asked from basically AWGN channel, Shannon capacity, right? Yeah, and then QPSK modulator signal, bit error rate, I think was asked. Then yeah, one question was only asked from this analog communication, that was based on FM, AM and PSK modulation, that A of t cos of 2 pi fct plus 5 theta t, in which it was given that fc equal to 100 fm. So that was only the question asked from analog communication, and rest was from mostly on digital communication, from QAM, quadrature amplitude modulation, then minimum transmission bandwidth to find. Then there was a discrete memoryless source consisting of 4 symbols transmitting at the rate to 10 to the power 4 symbols per second. You have to find the Nyquist bandwidth, so like that. And there was also question asked from random variables. You have to find the correlation between the two variables x, y and x, z, I think, pairs, given that y equal to x plus n and z equal to x square plus n. So it was also not that easy, but you could have solved it. हो सकता है सॉल्व कर लेते अगर प्रैक्टिस अच्छी थी तो. बाकी या ठीक है, हो गया. बाकी आपका जैसे नेक्स्ट ले लेते हैं हम लोग EMFT ले लेते हैं, इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक फील्ड थ्योरी. इट इज अनदर कोर सब्जेक्ट फॉर द electronics branch. That is, it was questions were asked from polarization of the wave, electromagnetic wave, what kind of polarization it is. Then yeah, okay, from a communication, another question was asked from Hamming code, also based on the binary symmetric channel, the probability that decoder fails to decode question was also there. And communication link, wireless communication link. This is from wireless communication is from basically antenna. In EMFT it comes under wireless communication link operating in free space. That question was also there. Distance between transmitter and receiver, you have to find out. Then yeah, two-port network, S parameters, scattering parameters, S11, S21, intersection they were given, and percentage of power distributed you have to find. And dielectric loss tangent representation, what it represents, there is an MSQ based on that also. Other than that, yeah. Then TE mode, yeah, T10 mode, what, yes, in T10 mode, and the question asked from T10 mode of this EMFT, right. And another question asked from Smith chart, basically input impedance at the point diametrically opposite to the load point on the Smith chart, to find that. Yeah, air field rectangular waveguide, T10 mode, you have to find the cutoff frequency. That question is there. Basically these questions were asked from EMFT. Let's move on to the last subject, which was EDC, electronic device and circuit. Hello viewers, so moving on to the next subject and last one, which is electronic device and circuits. So basically only few questions came from electronic device and circuits. One question was from basically the energy gap between the quasi-Fermi levels of P side and N side. Another question was asked from the LED transmission wavelength given the energy band gap. Another question was asked from basically comparison the early voltages VA. Another question was asked from electron diffusion, basically. And another question was asked from like the transfer mechanism which is used in Zener diode, which is under breakdown, which is tunneling. So basically these were the subject wise weightages from the different subjects. Basically one thing to note in EC was that paper was bit easier as compared to E, unlike other years, and questions were well distributed. From the core subjects questions were good, but for common subject questions were on the easier side. So I hope you watch this analysis and get benefited. Detailed analysis I will be providing after the response sheet and the question papers and answer keys come out. That's all for now. Thank you.